Welcome back to another session where I get to read a human design chart. Today's chart is for a 5-1 splenic projector. Super fascinating chart. And the purpose of this reading is to help this lady fully understand how she gets to step into her brand essence and be her personal brand. So without further ado, let's bring up Heidi's chart. And I'm really excited to dive into this chart because there are so many juxtapositions and paradoxes and push-pull energies that I can only imagine. It's been a journey to discover what your purpose is in life. So the first thing that I want to say that is like this resounding feeling that I get from looking at all the different elements in your chart is that your health is very much linked to everything in life, but specifically business. And so when you have an incredible relationship with your body, and with your health, you're going to be thriving. But on the other end of the spectrum, when you're facing difficulties with your health or you're not feeling good inside your body, you're going to feel as though everything is off kilter in your life. And so what I would really do is make your body your biggest priority, because that is where your wealth will lie. Your health really does determine your wealth in regard to your soul codes. So make sure you are paying particular attention to that. So I want to start with also just giving like an overall feel for this chart. You have an incredible amount of wisdom that you are here to share and serve the world with. And you are somebody that is deeply powerful. And with being a projector, it's always interesting to interact with a projector because you are somebody that deeply, deeply sees other people, but very often you cannot have that same awareness on yourself. And this is amplified by the fact that you've got the 60th gene key in your conscious sun. And yeah, it's just a really interesting energy that you get to work with. So what does it mean to be a projector in business? Let's first start there. Projectors are by nature really obsessive creatures, and you really want to understand the depths of everything. You also, because you have the ability to see systems in place, you're able to take a different kind of perspective to most people, see where the problems are, especially with that 5-1 energy there, and bring different solutions forward. So you're very much a solution based person. And even just translated into how this will work for content, doing solution based content will work really well for your brand because that is your energy. You are the fixer. But with being a fixer and with a couple of other configurations in your task, you don't want to fall into the trap of giving unsolicited advice. So with being a projector, a very, very important part of your strategy is to wait for the invitation. And having worked with so many projectors myself, I know that projectors often don't know what that looks like. So I want to quickly take a moment to dissect what receiving an invitation actually looks like for you. It does not mean that you get a signed, sealed, stamp delivery of an invite into your inbox to work with people, but it sometimes comes through in really subtle ways. So anybody that follows you in any social media platform, that is the invite to keep talking more about what you're designed to talk about. And for you specifically, you have the ability to talk about thoughts, beliefs, values. That is something that you're very designed to do. With that, though, it's all a projector channel. And so if you start sharing your thoughts and really valuable pieces of wisdom with people that haven't invited you to the table, you're going to feel deeply unheard, unseen, very misunderstood. And that's when you'll fall into your not self theme of bitterness. And so if in business you find that you're just feeling really bitter, that you're not getting the clients that you desire, I would really look at where are you giving away your wisdom for free. You really are designed to charge and charge premium prices for your services in regard to your configuration. And so if you are doing work for free, it's not going to work well with your design because you are here to really understand luxury and the 3D material plane. And that is what you get to be in right relationship with. And having a 5-1 profile line also again amplifies that because you have a big mission. all 5-1s have really, really big missions. But if you don't have the right relationship with wealth, it kind of leaves you feeling unresourced. And so a big part of your business is to feel really well resourced in order to do the work that you know deep down within your bones. Like for you, it's very much about how things feel in your bones. You get to then really express what luxury and that wealth energetic side of life gets to look like. Now, having looked at your Instagram profile, I know that you are here to help people earn more. And so you're definitely living in alignment with that so beautifully. Now, for you, in order for you to really unlock the greatest amount of prosperity that you're here to receive in this lifetime, you have to feel deeply recognized. And this is where the juxtapositions will start to come in. So being a projector, like I said, you have to wait for the invitation. And so invitations could look like people following you on social media, asking you to speak more about what you are already obsessively good at speaking about, where you're here to share your wisdom, etc. And once you start to really feel recognized for the value that you bring to the world, people will start inviting you more and more and more. And here's the other side of it. There is a part of your shadow that if you expect people to invite you because of what you're doing, that is when you'll fall into the shadow frequency and actually repel people and prosperity away from you. So if you, for example, decide that you want to add in a podcast as part of your brand and you do it expecting that it's going to yield very specific results for you, it's not going to yield those results. And then you'll fall into the trap of feeling really bitter because you had that expectation on it. So for you, it's ready to go, how am I here to be of service? Dear universe, channel through me the divine guidance and wisdom that I need to share with others that will be of service to them. And when you can do it from that place, from really speaking about what is on your heart and not expecting anything, knowing that it could potentially yield your dream high ticket clients, as well as if you do a podcast, maybe nobody listens to it. And when you can accept that, like for you, it's really about acceptance. Acceptance will bring you recognition. That's a very big part of your design, specifically when it comes to prosperity. So acceptance of the actions that you're taking that could yield either kind of result is going to be a big part of how you unlock your cosmic rewards. So how do you start to even unlock your cosmic rewards? Let's go there, because I always like to start with the end in mind. So thinking about the end is you needing to feel incredibly recognized by doing the things that you know are going to add value and lead the collective to see things in a different way. For you, it's really about sharing your thoughts and your values and your belief systems, but also knowing that not everybody is going to align with them. So you are somebody that is very intrinsically devoted to the beliefs that you have. And again, the shadow or the lower expression of this is that when you are enforcing those opinions and those beliefs to people and thinking that it has to be done your way, that can be quite dogmatic and quite rigid. And that's when people will again feel very repelled by your energy. A projector's energy is very penetrating. And so this is why when people are around you, they feel very deeply seen. But with that fifth line energy, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to deal with in business, because people are either going to feel really seen to the point of, I feel recognized in a good way, but sometimes people are going to feel like, oh, she sees me far too deeply, and that feels very vulnerable. And something that's also really interesting with that line is that with a 5-1 profile, people are either going to place you on a pedestal of going, wow, she is the one and only mentor that I ever want to work with. She's incredible. But if you don't put in place really strong boundaries, which I know can be something that's a little bit tricky for you, just looking at your charts. And sometimes people have already, this is what I want to say about human design. Human design is a guidance of how we get to live in accordance to our highest potential. And for some people, and I don't know where you are in terms of starting your journey with regards to the inner work, because even if people don't know about their human design, what I often find is that people will come into my world and I'll be like, wow, you're really living beautifully in alignment with your design. And for other people, it's like, oh, here's a map on how to be living in alignment. So I don't know where you are exactly with your design, but if you're good at putting in place boundaries now, that's going to have been a skill that you would have practiced to get there. It's not something that comes naturally to you. Boundary setting is something that has really had to be forged into who you are, because what happens with that fifth line energy again is that if you don't have very strong boundaries, people's pedestaling vision of who you are is going to collapse at some point, and then people will ghost you. And that's again where you'll feel very disenchanted by life, and you'll feel, what is the purpose of life? A very big shadow overall for you, with having an undefined identity center, with having gate 28 in your radiant sphere. And again, this really affects your health, is that when you fall into the feeling of, well, what is the purpose of life? You're going to open yourself up to illness or dis-ease coming through your body. And that's just a sign that there are things that you are not living in alignment with. And so when you can look at it from a metaphysical level of going, what is it that I'm maybe not expressing, or what is it that I'm not feeling aligned with in my life, you'll start to come back to homeostasis. And that's when your body can naturally heal itself. And that's when you'll have more flow in your life. But your health is always going to signal things that are a deeper metaphysical representation of what's happening in your mindset, in your environment, in all of these different things. I cannot stress this enough. Your health is incredibly imperative for you to focus on. So with all of that being said, let's go back to the 5-1 profile, because again, this is the most powerful profile line in the human design system. You want to fix the problems of the world. Now, an interesting configuration is that part of your purpose is that you want to reach that point where you're giving so much to people. And with the fifth line energy, you're going to want to fix everybody's problems. However, in the shadow expression, this is going to look like overgiving of yourself, overly trying to fix people's problems, overly taking responsibility, and giving too much of yourself before filling up your own cup. And again, projectors' superpower is seeing deeply into others. Their tripwire is that they don't see themselves. And so when you're not taking care of your health, when you're not putting yourself first, when you're not working from a filled up cup, that's again when you fall into your not self theme of feeling really bitter. And that's when you'll repel clients out of your life. And that's also when you're feeling like really tired, you might start to project your ideals and your values and your beliefs onto people and believe that they have to abide by how you view the world. And that dogmatic energy is exactly where clients will be specifically repelled from your world. So you're here to share your values and your ideals and your belief systems in a way that really light up people. But when you do it from a place of forcing and pushing and like projecting onto people, that's when you'll feel very misunderstood. So it's all about that right relationship of, I've got these incredible insights that I deeply want to share with the world. When is it the right time? And who is listening? And am I going to share it with people that will really understand my ideals and my values and my insights? Because then you're attracting the right people. So people will come to you in this lifetime because you are the one that has the practical solutions. And again, that is your greatest gift. That is where you're here to shine your light in the world, is to provide practical solutions to huge dreams, but making sure that there's like common sense behind what it is that you're getting people to do. Now, in the shadow expression, and this is where people will have felt that they are not living in alignment with their true soul's mission, is that you will feel this limitation. And limitation is either feeling so unstructured, and that's where your health really starts to downgrade itself, because health needs structure in order to like have specific guidance and measures like this. There's structure in your cells. It's a cellular structure. And so you do need structures in life when it comes to business, when it comes to your health, when it comes to family life. You need specific structures in order to help you feel that everything is attainable. On the other end of the spectrum, you could go too far into having structures for everything, where you would almost be like timing a timer to make sure it's correct. But that is then when you're falling very much the shadow expression of your design. And that's when that limitation will come about. But people rely on you to help them have this roadmap where they can realistically achieve their manifestations, achieve their goals. And that is the light that you're here to shine in the world. So I know that you do mindset work and somatic work and all of these things. And I can totally understand why you do that in terms of your design. And it works so beautifully. I'm just giving you the different things of where people will really be attracted to you and where they'll also be repelled from you. The second sphere I want to look at is your evolution sphere. And for me, your evolution sphere always talks about how you are here to grow and evolve. And as you will know, we are never off the journey. We are always on a continuous journey, always growing, always evolving, always deepening our wisdom, always meeting ourselves at deeper layers. And every new level has a new devil. And that new devil for you is always going to be around distraction. So for you, when you feel really distracted in your business, it's either going to feel like, well, what is the purpose of this? And that's a very big theme that again comes up. What is the purpose of this all? What is the purpose of social media? What is the purpose of my work? When you feel like that, it's distracting you from the bigger mission that you're here to serve. And on the other end of the spectrum, you're going to feel very overstimulated. And so you have these moments where everything just feels really like still, but like not moving. And you don't always know how to get out of that. And for you, it's all about how can I bring enrichment to the life, to my life and to the lives of others. So if you find yourself in periods of time where you are feeling really sullen, it's almost that there is this dead space, and you'll even feel like the joy and the spark is no longer in your eyes. You will feel, and this gate is rooted in your throat center, and the throat and the sacral are really, again, imperative for health. And the reason I bring this up is that if a projector doesn't honor their energy output and their energy cycles around the age of 35, projectors can go through a massive burnout period where it takes them a really long time to get back into true health. And because your gate 56 is linked to your throat system, which is where your endocrine system lives, it's your thyroid, it's your parathyroid, that is really linked to a lot of where people get burnt out from. And you'll either get burnt out because you're not doing enough of the things that bring you joy in life, or that you can't sit still. And both are shadow expressions. It's to really find the balance in finding the joy in life and finding the enrichment in life. And for you, being a projector, output is different to other people. So projectors are primarily designed to work for 4 hours a day and then to take time off. But in those 4 hours, you're able to output way more work than a generator or a manifesting generator, for example. So if a generator and a manifesting generator that had studied the exact same things as you were all put into a team to work together, what you would be able to produce would be a lot more because you work more efficiently. And that's just how the system works. You are, however, though, you are an energy projector. So you get non-energy projectors and you get energy projectors. You are an energy projector. So the way you need to work is by having long stretches of time where you get to sit down and produce a lot of work. Now, there is a certain amount of pressure that also comes into your chart where you will feel that if somebody asks you to do something, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, I need to do this right now. I need to get it off of my to-do list. So you will always feel under pressure. And the trick here is to, again, go back to boundary setting. Ask people when they would like something done by. For you, understanding a time frame is really important. And For you, it's also to express what you expect of another person, but then also asking what they expect of you, because that fifth line energy, if it's not working in its highest expression, again, can be very triggering. So just to touch more on that fifth line energy, I feel like I haven't spent enough time there yet. What the purpose of the fifth line energy is to act like a mirror, which is again why you make a brilliant mentor, because you can really reflect back to people what they are not seeing yet in themselves, and you reflect that back. And again, that can be a really intense energy that, amplified with being a projector with a penetrating aura, people are either going to feel really safe and comforted around you, or they're going to feel like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So it's just to be mindful of that, and to know that with, like I always say, with great power comes great responsibility. And you've got the gate of the queen, and you've got a lot of different elements that amplify this power that you carry yourself with. And for you, it's to really go, this is who I am. I don't need to prove that I have power. I know that I am power, but with power, you need to meet power with power. And so something that I always recommend for projectors to do on the daily is to spend time doing mirror work where you're recognizing every part of yourself. Now, mirror work is not about looking in the mirror and saying some nice affirmations about yourself. Mirror work for me is going, I see how you're triggered by this person. What is it that I'm not seeing inside myself? What is it that I need to focus on in terms of where I get to have growth? How do I get to meet myself on deeper levels? And when you can sit in doing shadow work where you're recognizing your darkness, your lightness, your shadows, your gifts, you're going to see that the right people will come to you at the right times, because that is the gift of the projector. You will not need to output a lot of energy in terms of finding who you want to work with, because when your energetics are working for you, your fractal energy, which is the energy that's attracting people to you unconsciously, is going to work so beautifully for you. Now, let's just talk about the size of people that you're supposed to, well, not supposed to, but that you're designed to work with. Your network is your greatest net worth. And for you, you want to be able to network and create a network of people and community. So for you, doing something like a membership would be really valuable in your business, or hosting networking events. And you want to be helping the different people in your stratosphere come together and share their different gifts and their different skills and things like that. So for you, really, it is about that network size. And again, you've got gate 42 in your culture sphere, which is where this is where this information is coming from. And you want to be able to bring people together without expecting that anything will happen, because you've got gate 42 here. So when you live in expectation of, well, my network is going to give me these results, that's when you won't get the results. It's to go, I'm going to bring these people together because it's from the place of service. It's what's on my heart to do. Whatever's on your heart is really important to you. And whatever you get intuitive nudges are also incredibly important to you. And it's to then go, how can I bring all of these people together and accept that they're either going to really hit it off like a house on fire, or they're not. And that's okay. So I want to start bringing it all together. The reason people will come to you, and what you can start to put into your branding and your content, is people will feel that they are limited by what their minds can perceive for where they want to go in their life. And you break down those limitations, but show them through common sense, and almost like having a realistic approach. But it's weird, because realistic, I don't love the word realistic, because when we think about manifestation, we know that we can shatter the ceilings of our minds in order to bring something that is far bigger than what our minds can conceive. But for you, it's going, let's shatter the ceiling and have a roadmap of structured, logical reasoning on how to get there. So that's why people will come to you. They will also come to you because they feel that they have gone through patches of their life where they've just felt numb to the joy that life has to offer them, where they felt that they can't sit still, or they sitting too still because there's this dead space within them, and they want to liven that up. So that's why people will come to you. And when you can talk to those points, it's really going to help people land with your message in the world. You will also attract people because you yourself have gone through moments where you've really questioned your purpose and you question your lovability in that. And you really have come to understand how you get to use your common sense, how you get to use your enrichment for life to find a way to have this enriched life experience and find your purpose. The other reason people will come to you is because they've either been so entrapped in themselves that they almost have the self-centered or selfishness way about them. And it's ironic because people think that being selfish is about only doing things for themselves, but it comes across in different behavior. So how I've seen this in clients is that they believe by doing everything for everybody else and expecting them to then have that same respect returned on them, that's how they kind of operate. So it's like, well, I've done this for you and I've done that for you, and why aren't you reciprocating? And that's actually the self-centered part. That's the selfishness. So people in your world will abandon themselves to get revered and celebrated by others, but it's all about how can they actually do things for themselves in a way that fills them up so that they can give more to their communities, to be of service and things like that. So that's why people will come to you specifically, so that you can help them work through that from a somatic point of view, from a mindset point of view. And that is wrapped up in your compass for life. Those are the reasons why people will come to you. Where you are here to share wisdom is through ideas. It's through the direction and purpose of life and how to be a specific identity. It is through your energy output. So you are somebody that's very wise at knowing when people need to put their foot on the pedal and when people need to take their foot off the pedal. You're very wise on how to help people through emotions, and that's because you are an empath. And so you have to be very discerning on what are your own emotions and what are others. And you're here to really understand stresses and pressures of life and have wisdom on that. What you're here to teach on is your values and opinions and your ideas, and with the knowledge that not everything's going to land for everyone. You're here to really talk about and share those thoughts and opinions with everyone from a very curious standpoint. And then you're here to really honor what is on your heart and is in your intuition. And you're going to be somebody that knows a lot about the different fears that will come up in business. So the fear of inadequacy is a big one that comes up for you in your charts. It's amplified in certain areas. The fear of not having a purpose and having purposelessness in life. The fear of the past repeating itself. Those are the fears that you're going to be continuously connected to and be able to help people work through, because you have the wisdom, well, you have the knowledge on it. And that is how you are here to really create a massive empire through the networks and deeply recognizing yourself, having solutions and the systems and the perspectives on how to see people to then create the life and the dreams that they desire. So I hope that that has been helpful and that it's given you a little bit of an in-depth insight into how your soul codes are here to operate in this lifetime.